There's three ways you can price a house. There's the first one is that you price it about 5 to 10% under the market value, and you get a ton of eyeballs on it. People are wondering, why is it low? Why are they trying to sell it for this price? And you get everyone out there, everyone looking in the area is going to come and show the house. The second way is you price it right at the value, okay, a number that you and the seller can agree on. The third way is you price it on the highest price in the neighborhood that's ever sold.
Welcome to the Cornerstone Realtor Team Podcast. Today is Monday, the 15th of September, 2025, and we're coming at you from the headquarters here in Dublin.
Happy
Jamil.
Monday, Ramez.
How are you, Jamil?
It's Victory Monday.
Victory Monday. Why? What's the deal?
Well,
what are you celebrating?
The 49ers 2-0. They
Yes.
have won and they beat the Saints, and we are very excited.
Yes, it was a great Sunday game yesterday. But you know what? There was one play that stood out. Jamil, what's your favorite play?
Listen, my favorite play was in the fourth quarter, a 42-yard touchdown from Mac Jones, which is the backup quarterback, to Jawan Jennings. 42 yards to give us a 26-21 lead. And man, what a touchdown. That was amazing. I'm so glad that they re-signed Jawan Jennings, extended his contract, and he's on the team because this guy makes a difference.
Yeah, definitely. Jawan is coming into his own on the second game. We're looking forward for him to carry us for a few weeks until Kittle comes back from his injury.
Well, we got a few injuries. Hopefully Brock Purdy's back, but Mac Jones did pretty good.
Yep.
In the first drive, he was very nervous, but I think after that he got comfortable. And the funny thing is, he admitted it. What I saw, he admitted. I like that, right? Your observations get confirmed.
Yes.
But once he got comfortable, he did great. So props to everyone that played, and great job, 49ers.
All right. Now this Sunday we have our home opener against the Cardinals, and we're looking forward to that. And it's going to be a great season.
The
Hopefully
problem is they always are a menace to us. I don't know why. The Niners are way better than them, but they're a menace. They always just come in and cause problems. So we need to
believe, Jamil. Just
crush
believe.
those birds.
Just believe.
That's it.
Do you believe?
I believe.
All right.
I believe we're going to be 3-0 on Sunday.
That's it. Amen to that.
Let's go.
All right. And today we want to talk about a question and an observation that we always have in every listing that we bring to the market. And the question is pricing it right from the start. When you bring a house to the market, it's very important that you price the house in the right category of the market right from the start. Don't wait. Jamil, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we usually give sellers three options of how they want to price their home. Now, we know the value of the house and what it could sell for, but there's three ways you can price a house. There's the first one is that you price it about 5 to 10% under the market value, and you get a ton of eyeballs on it. People are wondering, why is it low? Why are they trying to sell it for this price? And you get everyone out there, everyone looking in the area is going to come and show the house. The second way is you price it right at the value, okay, a number that you and the seller can agree on. The third way is you price it on the highest price in the neighborhood that's ever sold. Now, the highest price neighborhood will never probably get it, right? It's going to sit and sit and sit, and no one's going to show. No one's going to come look at it. And what happens is, eventually, you're going to have to reduce the price and less showings, and people are going to try and buy it for less than what your price is at, even when you lower it. So most sellers choose to price it right below the market because it creates activity. It creates contact with the house, and you want people looking at it. The more people look at it, the more of a chance for you to get the right offer and to get multiple offers.
I think the problem too is when you overprice it, not only you get fewer showings, but the house becomes stale on the market. It sits for weeks upon weeks, and people begin to wonder, why is this not selling?
It's like a piece of bread, Ramis.
Yeah, it is.
Piece of bread that's
It
stale.
is.
There's only so much you can
Nobody
do with
wants
it.
to buy that piece of bread,
Right.
that when it's stale. But I think when people understand that when you price a house in the right place where the house is worth, it's much better for you as a seller, because it takes less days on the market to sell, and the less days that you're on the market, the better it is for your house. It doesn't look bad. Anything else you want to talk about the days on the market?
Yeah, so as the time is ticking on the market, some people are just watching and they're waiting. Buyers are watching, they're on the fence right now. And so if you overprice it, you're going to end up with less than if you price it right. And pricing it right is right under the value, and then the idea is to get over your expectation.
Right. How about the eventual price drop that you have to do? If you overprice it, eventually you will have to correct. And that doesn't always look good when you do a price drop.
Well, Ramis, let's talk about the definition of value. The definition of value is what a buyer is willing to pay for it. Okay? If I go to the store and I see something that I like and I think it's too high, then I have seen the value is too high. I'm not going to pay for it. But if it goes on sale, I might buy it.
Well, you don't see the value at that price.
At that time.
Right.
You know, it's all about time versus value, right? So it just depends of the time. So if you see it on sale, you might buy it. Well, don't put your house on clearance. Price it right from the beginning. Price it right where people will come look at it. And then make people fight for it. Get them in there. Get multiple offers. Let your agent work hard for you to push the price up. Once people have the fear of missing out on that house, guess what? They're going to put their best offer in right away.
How about underpricing? Leaving money on the table. We see that a lot. We get a lot of calls from people and they ask us, is this transparent pricing? And what they're meaning is that, did you price it in a way that you're expecting a lot more? Or is this what you're willing to accept? And so sometimes if you do underprice, you leave a lot of money on the table and you could lose as a seller, and you don't want to do that.
Definitely, you could way underprice it, and that's why we try to go 5 to 10%, so that it's not way underpriced, right? But again, there's comparables of your home, so we know what it's worth. We do adjustments for view and larger lot and stuff like that, but you got to price it right. And having an agent that's an expert in your area that understands the pricing model that works for that area is important for you, because you might be leaving money on the table.
And then we used comparable market data, that's closed data, pending data. We call people that are pending. We ask the agents that are pending on different houses, where are you at? We try to gauge the market where it's at and price it right at that sweet spot, because we don't want to overprice and we don't want to underprice. We want the market value, and that's why we use real data. Now it brings us to the other point, which is a lot of
So with the sold data, that is sold, and that is marketing prior, right? It's not at the moment. The offer went in 30 days or 45 days or 60 days prior. So markets do change from month to month or 3 months. So you have to look at it in a way of current market. What came on the market? If the pending data, if they will give you the information and it's a non-contingent offer, we can use it. But sometimes they don't share because they know that things could change before it closes. So we have to be careful with the pending and active data. So we use the sold data much more heavily because that is a fact. We use the facts, and that's what will heavily weigh on your sale. Not as much as the pending, right? So not so much as the pending. The sold data is where we use.
Where it closed at.
Where it closed.
But I think the pending data could help you understand where the market is
if you can get the data.
Currently. If you can get it. But we try. We call. We try to create a culture of cooperation, so that way we share data. That way it benefits the seller the most. But here's another thing that we want to talk about. A lot of people go to Zillow or they go to Redfin and they look at the estimates. Now, that is not an accurate estimate. A lot of these estimates are either very low or very high, because Zillow has never been into your home. Redfin that never stopped by and knocked on the door and said, hey, can I see your house to give you an estimate? So they're looking at aggregated data, and some of it even comes from refinancing that they pull from, and they come up with the price. So it's important that we look at the house ourselves and to give you the accurate price.
Yeah, so Zillow is not going to be accurate. They don't know the direction. They don't know if you have views. They don't know what if you change countertops. They don't know if you updated the bathroom. They don't know all your updates. So Zillow is just kind of foundational. It's not exactly. So people go, well, why does my house show on Zillow at this much? Well, it doesn't know everything about your house like an agent does from the area and knows the comparable sales. Zillow also pulls all the public record of, let's say, a sale within a family member that sold for, well, let's say the house is worth $2 million, but a family member sold a house on the street for 1.5. Guess what? That affects your price. But we don't use a distressed sale or a sale that's between a family member like that, like a non-traditional sale, as a value for you. So it's important that you understand that we use the comparable sales and use comparable as the key word. A distressed sale is not comparable. Someone in foreclosure is not comparable. We're not in a foreclosure market. So you have to look at it that way, that it's an idea, it's not the actual value.
All right, the first 2-3 weeks, why are they so important? 2 to 3 weeks of the listing. Like a fresh piece of bread. Why is it important to sell it the same day, the bread, instead of the next day? Why? It gets
stale. It's stale.
First 2 to 3 weeks are the most important in the listing of the home, because just like we talked about bread, the house can get stale. So that's why it's important to price it just right to generate more offers in the first 2 to 3 weeks and go pending than waiting a month or two. Things get stale and they don't sell.
So when we list a house, we are marketing to every buyer looking, right? If there's a buyer looking, they're going to see it. They're going to see it on our website. They're going to see it on social media. They're going to see it on the MLS. They're going to see it everywhere. If there is a buyer looking for your characteristics of a house, they're going to see it, because we pump it all over 200 plus websites, and it just gets hit internationally even, okay? So it's important to make sure that within the first 2 weeks, the house is sold, or you're going to have to reduce the price, because that is why it hasn't sold, all right? So it's important that we price it correctly for you, and that it gets sold within those first 2 weeks, so we get the highest price.
And you know, they're serious buyers. They're always watching, and they're looking. If you're overpriced, they're always looking for a price drop. So it's important to list it at the right price.
If there's a buyer looking in that neighborhood, they know it came on the market, and they're watching. And guess what? I'm going to tell you something. The first offer is typically the best offer.
Yep.
You can count on that. So if you get an offer the first few days, you should take it.
Because those people are serious and they put their
because
best foot forward.
That's the market we're in. Now, if we're in a hot seller's market, I would say no. And then we always adjust to the market, right? We are adjusting to this market right now. But I can tell you the market is starting to turn. It's becoming a hotter market. It hasn't crossed yet, but we're seeing a lot more activity from buyers. And that's how we gauge it.
We just had a listing in Castro Valley that we're looking at for a buyer, and the agent was asking for an offer below asking. Last week, he just sold it for $80,000 above asking. So we see a trend that is changing in the market. So if you're a buyer out there, don't wait too long. You might miss the train. A lot of people are coming back into the market because rates are trending down. And a lot of buyers that have stepped out, they're coming back in. So if you're looking to buy, give us a call. We'd love to talk to you, give you a one-on-one consultation, and help you to find the home that works for you and best fits your family and your needs.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you know anyone that could use this information, please share it with them. There's a share button right below the video, and like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. So have a great Monday and great week.